Welcome to the another lecture of electron devices. In this lecture, we are going to cover generation and recombination of charge carriers in semiconductor. So, we all know that in a pure semiconductor, the number of holes is equal to number of free electrons. But due to thermal agitation, which continues to generate G new hole electron pairs per unit volume per second, while other whole electron pairs disappears as a result of recombination. So we can say free electrons fall into empty covalent bonds, resulting in the loss of pairs of mobile carriers. So on an average, a hole will exist for tau p, or an electron will exist for tau n second before recombination. So this time is called mean lifetime of the holes and electrons respectively. So these parameters are very useful and important in semiconductor devices because they indicate that the time required for electron and hole concentration which have been caused to change to return their equilibrium concentration. Consider a n-type silicon bar containing the thermal equilibrium concentration, that is P0 and N0. We are taking this case study to understand the generation and recombination phenomena of charge carriers in a semiconductor. So for this we have taken a n-type silicon bar, and in which we will monitor their minority charge carrier concentration. So assume that at t equal to t dash, the specimen is exposed to the light as shown in this figure, and the additional whole electron pairs are generated uniformly throughout the crystal. So an equilibrium condition is reached after some time, and the new concentration are now P bar or N bar under the influence of radiation. So the photo injected or excess concentration, that is P bar minus P0 for holes, or N bar minus N0 for electrons, since the radiation causes electron hole pairs to be created. So photo injected excess concentration is represented by P bar minus P0 or N bar minus N0. So P bar minus P0 can be written as P dash 0, and N bar minus N0 can be written as N dash 0. But the increase in hole concentration P equals that for the electron density N, the percentage increase for electron in N-type semiconductor is very small, as electrons are majority charge carriers in n-type semiconductor. So if 10 to the power 18 plus 10 is very significant small compared to 0.12 10 to the power 2. So the percentage increase in holes may be tremendous because holes are minority charge carriers in n-type crystal. So in other way, or we can say that radiation affects the majority concentration hardly at all, and that therefore the behavior of minority carriers can be studied to understand the nature of this increase and decrease in charge carriers. So after a steady state is reached, that is at t equal to 0, in this figure the radiation is removed, we can see that excess carrier density returns to 0 exponentially with time. So to do so, we must derive the differential equation which governs the whole concentration as a function of time, that is t greater than 0, that is in this area where there is no external excitation. So from the definition of mean lifetime tau p, and assuming that tau p is independent of the magnitude of hole concentration, we can write p upon tau p, which is the decrease in hole concentration per second due to recombination. So decrease in hole concentration per second due to recombination is given by P upon tau p. Similarly, the generation rate G can be defined as increase in hole concentration per second due to thermal generation. So since charge can be neither created or destroyed, so there must be an increase in hole concentration per second of amount, that is dP upon dt. So if we minus decrease in hole concentration per second from increase in hole concentration per second, we will get dP upon dt. So this rate must at every instant of time equal to the algebraic sum of the rates given by these two equations. So dP upon dt can be represented by increase in hole concentration per second due to thermal generation minus decrease in hole concentration per second due to recombination. So under steady state condition, this dP upon dt is 0, that is with no radiation falling on the sample, so the whole concentration P reaches to its thermal equilibrium value P0. So from this equation, if we put dP upon dt equal to 0, then G equal to P upon tau p. So this equation now updated as G equal to P0 upon tau p. So dP upon dt equal to P0 minus P upon tau p. So the excess or injected carrier density P dash is defined as the increase in minority concentration above equilibrium value. So since this P dash is a function of time, so we can write this equation. So this equation denotes that increase in minority concentration above equilibrium value P0. So it follows from the equation that the differential equation controlling P dash can be given by dP dash upon dt equal to minus P dash upon tau p by combining these two equations, because as we put P dash equal to minus P0 upon P in this equation and we differentiate this equation with respect to time, then dP dash upon dt equal to dP upon dt. So dP dash upon dt equal to now minus P dash upon tau p. So the rate of change of excess concentration is proportional to this concentration, which is a correct result, and the minus sign in this equation indicates that the change is a decrease in the case of recombination and an increase when the concentration is recovering from a temporary depletion. So since the radiation result in an initial at T is less than equal to 0, that is this area, excess concentration is given by P bar minus P0, and then this excitation is removed, the solution of equation above T equal to 0 or equal to 0, then the excess concentration is given by this amount, that is P dash 0 e raised to power minus T upon tau p. So we can write P minus P0 equal to P dash 0 e raised to power minus T upon tau p. So the excess concentration decreases exponentially to the 0, that is P dash is equal to 0 or P equal to P0 with a time constant equal to the mean lifetime tau p as indicated in this figure. So the pulse light method indicated in this figure is also used to measure this tau p. So this is a very important phenomenon to learn. Next is recombination center. So recombination is a process where an electron moves from conduction band into valence band so that a mobile electron hole pair disappears. If we talk about classical mechanics, which requires that momentum be conserved in an encounter of two particles. Since momentum is zero after recombination, the conservation law requires that the colliding electrons and holes must have equal magnitude of momentum and they must be traveling in opposite directions. So this requirement is very strict, and hence the probability of recombination by such a direct encounter is very small. So the most important mechanism in silicon and germanium through which hole and electrons recombine, that trap and recombination centers, which contribute electron states in energy gap of the semiconductor. So such locations, that is called trap or recombination center, acts effectively as a third body which can satisfy the conservation of momentum requirement. So these new states are associated with imperfection of the crystal, specifically metallic impurity in the semiconductor are capable of introducing energy states in the forbidden band gap. So recombination is affected not only by the volume impurities but also the surface imperfection of the crystal. So if we talk about gold, that is the example of trap centers, is very often used as a recombination agent by semiconductor device manufacturers. Thus the device designer can obtain desired carrier lifetimes by introducing gold into silicon under controlled conditions. So carrier lifetimes, which are ranged from nanosecond to hundred of microsecond, can be controlled inside a semiconductor structure. So in this particular slide, we have covered generation and recombination of charge carriers and recombination centers created inside the structure of semiconductor. Thank you.